Okay, so this is going to be a Loz's Dota Doctor, I guess. I'm going to be checking out this Pudge in this game. He's a bloke called pvwrd on Reddit asked for a little bit of comment and critique on his Pudge play, so I'm going to go through this game primarily focusing on this Pudge, what he could have done personally, what went wrong for the team in this game, what he did right, that sort of thing. I'm going to comment a little bit on the rest of the plays, but primarily it's going to be focusing on this guy. See how we can help this guy to improve, how we can all learn from his play and his team's good and bad things. So I'm gonna hit go and auto speed this bit possibly, or just speed it up anyway, because frankly this is a little bit dull. Already they've got an issue here. I think their lanings are going to be a little bit wonky. They have several heroes that want farm and the ones that don't want farm necessarily kind of want levels. It's going to be quite hard for them to get everything they want onto the heroes that they want. So bring it back up to 1 speed. It's Storm versus Pudge right here. Pudge can be quite aggressive very early on. Very early on. You can deal with this Storm Spirit. Pudge just Rotten Hook and that can get a good early kill on a Storm Spirit if you're lucky. If the Storm Spirit makes a mistake when you have a creep wave advantage, that's very much going to go in your favour. I like he's being aggressive here, but he doesn't have the creep wave advantage. At that point, his creep wave was dying, his creep wave was back here. Storm Spirits was just coming up to the line, and he was going to come off worse in that exchange, which he did. Nice and easily. It's pretty clear that was going to happen. If we go to our player perspective cam, that will save me from doing things. We can focus exactly on what our Pudge is seeing right here. So he's trying to use Rot to get last hits. That's fair enough. Pretty standard. Doesn't seem to... He's not moving his camera around the map at all. I don't know how often he's looking at the minimap, obviously, because I can't watch him playing. But you want to be... as a Pudge, you want to be really very aware of what the game state is. Like if you're talking to your friends, that's fine. If you know that this guy's getting low regularly in the lane, this guy is overextending a little bit, you want to be looking at the minimap all the time, you want to be communicating, you probably want to be flicking between the lanes. Not necessarily as early as level 3, because you can't really gank unless you pick up a rune. Similarly, no wards, anywhere on the map. Nothing at all. No one knows where the runes are. No one knows what's going on. As a Pudge, you need vision. You absolutely need vision one way or another. There's no... he's rushing a bottle because he went for branch, south and some tangos. So he's rushing a bottle, but he doesn't know where the rune is right now. So he's got to guess at the rune. Not useful. If you know where the rune is, you can damage yourself, you can throw out a hook, you can try to get some harass, and then you can go and get the rune, you can go and pick it up. Go get a gank on another lane, come back full health. Whatever you want. But this Pudge doesn't know where anything is. That's a failing of him and his team. They need to have runes, and I've skimmed through this game on 8 speed. Basically no wards all game. Pretty much. That's going to be a massive contributing factor. Right, their lanes are arguably weaker than the other team. It's a nice hook on Storm Spirit, I like this a lot. A little bit risky, pays off, pulls him into the tower. Nothing wrong there at all. Beautiful, lovely, fantastic. But now's the first time that he's looking away at the map and he just keeps walking. You should know, you can just right click here. And then you can be just going, right, okay, so how's this lane doing? What's going on? I want to know what this guy's doing. I want to know what this guy's doing. Okay, so this void is really low right now. I might even be able to get TP scroll down there once I'm healed. Go pick up a kill on the void. The Lena's low as well. I might even be able to get a double kill. The Storm Spirit's been shut down for a little while. That might be worthwhile. They just died on this lane. They got 2 kills. Do I need to do that? What am I doing? But instead, Pudge has just been staring at his fountain. You need to, be more aware of what's going on. Did you know? Did the Pudge know that the Undying has a stout shield and a ring of regen? What about the Weaver? The Weaver's got an Aquila right now. That's not good. Weaver's already got quite a bit of farm. And Tide's going to die from this. Pudge, what did Pudge do there? Because this is the first time I'm looking through this slowly. So Pudge is here. Right, so we don't know. The Pudge isn't looking around at the map. That's the main thing. He is in fact going bot lane, which is nice. But he seems to be going bot lane to farm because the Lena's gone. I mean, and they don't know where everything's gone because they don't have any wards. They don't have a lane ward here. They don't have a rune ward around the back. You know, they could have a ward behind this tower. Could have a ward here. There is in fact no courier on his team, as he likes to point out. Again, that's going to be an issue. He doesn't have a courier to bring him a bottle. He doesn't have the courier to bring them the wards. If your team's not doing it, kind of just suck it up and pick it. You know, pick up the courier yourself. It's not pleasant, especially as a sort of kind of farm dependent, kind of level dependent hero like Pudge, but you need those wards, you need those couriers. And I'm going to flick it back to the player's perspective of this Pudge so we can see what he's doing. Might speed it up a little bit because not a lot happens for a while. Wades in on the Storm Spirit, gets a kill. That's exactly what I was saying about the Storm versus the Pudge early on. Storm was, what is he, level 5, so he couldn't run away. Nicely picked up by the Pudge. Wades in, kills a Storm Spirit. But you can do that earlier on. You can actually be really quite aggressive to a Storm very early on, and before he manages to get his Overload Harass on, he's actually very weak. He's got low strength. If you can just walk up to him and rot point blank hook, probably going to be a kill. Could have been doing that much earlier. Leaving the Storm Spirit to farm whilst missing a hook, that's a little bit sad. Could have just walked in there. You don't need to go for the hook every time. My main, like, I like that you're throwing out hooks, that you're trying to do things here. But again, you don't need to try and hook every time. You can just walk in. That Lena would have died if you had just walked in and killed it. Just walk past the Lena. You had two heroes nearby. There's no need to try that hook. You should throw out lots of hooks, don't get me wrong. As many hooks as you feel you have the mana support. Do it, definitely. But sometimes it's worth just walking in and rotting. It's good. Pick up the rune. You didn't know where the rune was, but again, no wards, no vision. You don't know where anybody is right now apart from the Weaver that just walked past your illusion runes. But this is a continuing issue, right? So right now, they're several thousand gold ahead because they've taken a tower, because they have an Undying that helped let them push that tower. Their kills ahead because you haven't been able to make the kills and your team doesn't have the capacity to make the kills on the lane. So every time you've gone for a lane, you've either not had anything to kill there, and then you sort of rotted away a creep wave for very little reason while there were two other people coming along. Don't think that was worth it. Or you missed the hook when you didn't need to miss the hook. You didn't even need to hook, and then again, nothing came of it. If you have the wards up, you can catch people out in the forest. The Void has been sitting in this jungle for an incredibly long time. He's just been sitting in the jungle farming. And this is unbelievably ambitious, and you're going to pay for it. Unless you're absolutely certain that you're going to kill a Weaver instantly, don't bother. Because the Weaver's just going to time-lapse, run back in, and then kill your half HP, no cooldown, no spells, pudgy ass. And that's exactly what happened there. You were half health to begin with, hooked the Weaver, didn't trigger your rot as soon as you hooked and chomped him, which I think probably would have killed him. But when you didn't kill him, time lapse, Shikuchi runs in, kills you. Straight up dead. That's a very ambitious hook to try if you don't have the guaranteed kill on the Weaver, because it's just going to be a waste of cooldown of mana. I quite like just going Weaver mid against a Pudge, because there's no way he can kill you most of the time. And again, you have no vision up, nothing there, and that cost you your life. You didn't know where the Storm Spirit was, you didn't know what this lane was going to be doing here, and you died for it. I like the Shadow Fiend trying to catch out the Weaver, that was nice. But the lack of vision and the lack of understanding where the heroes are has already cost your team 5 or 6 kills and deaths, or kills and deaths combined. I mean, that's kind of sad. There's not a lot you can do there. Storm Spirit TP's in, comes and kills you. Kunkka is not doing very much right now, because he's been laning with a Death Prophet that wants and needs farm. I'm going to slow this down because this is kind of giving me epilepsy. I like the much more moving around the map, getting some vision up, that's good. Or getting some understanding of how the game is going. It's a little bit too little too late. They're already 14-5 ahead, and that's the key issue. You don't... It's basically the wards. The wards are causing huge amounts of problems here. They don't need to run around ganking, but you're a Pudge and you absolutely do. They have a Storm Spirit that wants to farm, a Faceless Void that wants to farm, a Weaver that wants to farm. Undying kind of just wants levels. He also wants farm, but he was with the Weaver, so he has to sacrifice that. But they have 2 half supports. Lina can be a proper support. Undying, I don't like it, but he can be supported. You've got Tide. That's about it. You need farm and levels, or at the very least levels. You can't really spend your money on supportive items because you absolutely need to get up your core. You have the Tide that can do all of the supporting. And what does your Tide have? He has boots and a gauntlet. He's got nothing. So you kind of need to just suck it up by those wards on the Pudge. Again, you have no vision, you don't know that the Weave was there. I like you're landing some nice hooks, that's good, but because you didn't know where the Weaver was, you kind of just got crushed there. The Storm Spirit's gonna just miss on his raises, get taken down again. That hook, while it was a nice hook, actually kind of ultimately cost your team 3 kills. Really? The Undying came in, tombstoned, the Weaver was behind you, kicked your ass. Storm Spirit was there, kind of hard to kill in the first place, and your Kunkka's gonna die again. Right, this Weaver is actually pretty fat right now. He's going straight for a Lincoln's, which I'm not entirely sure is a good idea, personally. But that's a very nice hook. That was, I gotta say, I like that hook. Just pushed it past the creep wave. Beautiful. Your hooking is nice, but the map awareness that you have, because you lack wards, because you're not scanning the lanes enough, you don't know where any of their team are right now apart from this Weaver, and realistically you're not killing the Weaver unless he fucks up really bad. So you want that vision. Absolutely need that vision. You seem to be going for phase boots. Don't think that's a good idea. I think you want arcanes this game. No one else on your team is going to be getting the arcanes. You got a Death Prophet who's going straight for a Bloodstone, it would seem, but has nothing right now. Tide Hunter is really raw, although he does have money for his arcanes right now if he wants to get them. But with how raw your Death Prophet is, your team isn't going to have arcane boots. You kind of want the arcane boots on your team. You're not going to be able to chase many people down in this game, Storm Spirit, you kind of can't chase because he's Storm Spirit. The Weaver, you can't chase. The Void, you can't really chase. He's got his Blink, well, his Time Walk, he's got Chronosphere, quite hard to chase him down. What you really want to do is have the mana available to isolate and kill someone. And I have a feeling you're going to do something very ambitious and a little bit stupid here. No, okay, that's good. But those phase boots are there for when you're already... I like getting phase boots on Pudge, but I like getting phase boots on Pudge when you're already at an advantage, and it helps you chase down the underleveled enemy. It helps you sort of put a final nail in the coffin. That's what the phase boots are good for on Pudge. They help you chase stuff down. But you're not. You guys are seriously behind right now, and you should be aware of that. You've lost an extra tower. They've got 9 kills up on you. Their carries have been farming harder than you. You've 5k gold down, and you probably should be aware of that as a whole. You should go, right, okay, we're behind. We need to pull something out of the bag here. The phase boots are an advantage item on Pudge. I would much rather have you have arcanes here. That will help your Tide to flash farm. Will help your Death Prophet to flash farm. Tide has his arcanes up, which is nice. That's going to help your team out so much in early fights. Well, mid-game fights now. But I'm labouring this point because it's worth considering. Every time you're picking an item, every time you're doing something, there should be a reasoning behind it. And I get the feeling this phase boots was, I get phase boots on Pudge. Again, nice hook, pull things down, but there was no need to chase there. There was no way you were ever going to need to chase there, and that's what the phase boots is for. So, arcanes, much more useful right now. What you really want to be... Okay, here, again, lack of vision means that you kind of go in on 3 people and die. Not a whole lot you could have done there. It was possibly a lack of communication, but I mean, look at the heroes that you have here. You've got a Kunkka, who kind of can't do very much, although that was a very nice torrent there, keeping himself alive. That was... I'm not sure how much of that was intended, how much of that was luck, given how the Kunkka's been playing, but that worked out fine for you guys, fortunately. But you seem to... This Pudge play was sort of, okay, I'm hidden in the trees and I'm going to go hook someone, because you hook someone when you're hidden in the trees. You're never going to come off well there if they got a Weaver and a Storm Spirit. You guys don't have... Your Death Prophet wasn't there for the Silence, the Kunkka wasn't there for the Torrent. Now the Kunkka was there, but he's not going to be able to... He's not going to necessarily be able to land the Torrent. You've got a Shadow Fiend and a Kunkka. There's no way you're going to lock down either of those heroes. So what you sort of just went for something for very little reason. Yeah, that was a nice hook. You were just on the edge of vision. I like your positioning here a lot. You got some good things going on there. You seem to be very well aware of the boundaries of vision at points in time, which is nice. That's a really useful skill to have for Pudge. I haven't really seen you going to any traditional hook spots, which you could probably got away with. I'm talking this sort of area here. Yeah. Nice hook. You're very good at picking people out from crowds, which is nice. I like that. It's actually a decently difficult spell to have, although right now it's best of a bad job, I guess. The Undying Tombstone is gonna, not gonna make life easy for you there. You probably could have just run from it. Death Prophet, just kill them. Just hit them. Just hit them. Good. Okay, I've not seen you go to any traditional hook spots. Sort of no camping here, camping in these trees, sitting in here, sitting in here. There are several standard places for hooking that I've not seen you use at all that you could have done. But that's where you were or weren't at the time. That's not too much of a problem. Okay, this is the first ward of the game. And it's pretty useless. Basically. This is a sort of that's a terrible chronosphere. Wow, that was impressively bad. I'm actually at a loss for words here. Death Prophet could have killed the Void there as well, but that was a terrible chronosphere. Somehow managed to get everything wrong. But I mean, if you said this is a group of mates, why are you not communicating with them? You're all the way up here. Your TP's probably on cooldown, but you know, why are you all the way up there? You could be pushing. You're not trying to mitigate your losses right now. That's a nice dead Lina, but I have a feeling the majority of your kills. You got 6 deaths on the Lina, 6 deaths on the Storm Spirit. The Void hasn't died. The Weaver has died once, and that's only because he was being really stupid here when you hooked him. They have 5 kills on your Death Prophet, 3 kills on your Kunkka, 3 kills on your Shadow Fiend. All of your kills are clustered on the Storm Spirit and the Lina. That's not particularly useful when they've got a basically free farm Void and a Weaver that has been systematically crushing your entire team. And this is why you don't go for a Weaver. He just runs circles around you. Unless you're absolutely certain you can get the kill on the Weaver, it's kind of not worth doing, because he's just going to do that. But your kills have kind of been kills of opportunity rather than kills for a reason. You want to be going, okay, right, we kind of need to push. The Undying seems to be just chilling in the woods. That's fine. But you want to have a reason for what you're doing. Basically, this Weaver is running around getting kills. He doesn't really have a reason, but he doesn't need one. He's a Weaver. He's running around getting kills on his carry. That's all right. That works fine. But you guys, most of your kills have come from either them messing up or blind dumb luck. A little bit. What you want to be doing is making a play. Okay, you've got a Death Prophet. Death Prophet, pretty tanky Death Prophet. Although phase boots, could have gone for an Arcanes again. But since you don't have an Arcanes, Death Prophet could have got an Arcanes, but I'm a little bit Arcanes hungry, so I'm probably a little biased. But you have a Death Prophet. Why not go gank the lane the Death Prophet's on, and then use her ulti to push a tower? Get some map control and a kill, rather than just go and get a kill. When you came down here and there was no one left alive down here, the Void was low HP and ran off this way. The Lina ran off this way. You guys all just sort of left and didn't really do very much. That was a fairly wonky hook getting in the way. And again, you're focusing your Dismember on the Lina. Why? Why are you doing that? There's no need to. Instead, you could have dismembered the Storm Spirit and actually got a kill on the Storm Spirit again, rather than the Lina, who's already a little bit neutered and kind of doesn't have anything right now. But this Storm Spirit is just... He's got a Bloodstone up. It's really late, but he's got his Bloodstone up, and he's kind of just laughing at you guys running away. All 5 of you are futilely chasing the Storm Spirit. Eventually, you've gone off, but now, again, you've got the wrong people taking the farm. Your Kunkka has nothing and is going for a Battle Fury. A 35-minute Battle Fury, which is... yeah, not good. But you and the Tide went and got the farm top. Why did not anyone other than you or Tide go get the farm top? Again, bad communication there. Tide had a dust, popped the dust, you missed a hook, and then the Weaver just sort of walks away and you've wasted a dust and a load of time. The Shadow Fiend could have got the farm top, could have got more farm on his carry. There doesn't feel like there's much communication going on there. And this is why I like having the Arcanes on the Pudge, because you've got 2 more hooks and sod all regen. before you're basically out of mana. You got a bottle, it's cool, but you still don't have any wards. I mean, you don't know where any of them are. You don't have a Roshan ward, even though the Void here has got a Mask of Madness and a Battle Fury. He can just go solo Rosh whenever the hell he feels like it. Pretty much. And you guys are not gonna know because you don't have a Roshan ward. If that Void gets Roshan and just walks into your base, you're basically just gonna lose. Undying is already pretty tanky. He could do with a little more HP, but he's still pretty tanky. And this Weaver is running around laughing at you guys again. You don't have the map control, and you're not doing anything to mitigate the fact that you don't have the map control, and you're just sort of sitting here letting the Void farm. You as the Pudge need to be taking control of, okay, we need to go gank this, we need to go take that. They still have a tier 1 tower out here. It's almost dead. It's been almost dead for the past 15 minutes. I checked that 10 minutes ago and it was on about 160 health. Again, finally have a ward up, but that you guys are behind. They're going to be taking Roshan. That ward really should be here. And another dismember on the Lina. This fight actually goes really well. But you kind of didn't do much there as the Pudge. That was basically all the Death Prophet and the Shadow Fiend and the Tide. Like, they did loads and loads of damage there. You hooked a Lina, which forced the fight to happen, and you guys are finally doing something with a 1 engagement, pushing. But you don't have any method to push. Why? The fact this tower is still up makes me cry, actually. You can get this tower, which is nice. You got a couple of kills, got a tower, you're pulling it back. That's probably about a 2k dip back towards you guys, I'm guessing, in gold. Yeah, about 7 to 5. So, that's really nice. But that's because they fought on your terms. They clustered up, and they got hit by Ravage, and they got hit by Shadow Fiend's ulti. They're not going to make that same mistake again, I would hope. And while you're doing all of this, the Void is taking your bot tower for free. So in fact, all you traded was 1 base tower for another base tower. You get the Void and just managed to get the kill because the Shadow Fiend eventually wakes up. That was a little bit slow on his part. But you took, what, 400 points of damage on both of your acts, lost a base tower in exchange for taking a tier 2 tower after you won a team fight. And this tower's still up. Losing that tower completely mitigated most of the bonus that you got. Kunkka is he's now got his Shadow Blade. That's nice. He's still got to play more in the what? Okay, he's going for a Battle Fury after his Shadow Blade. Okay, and finally this tower goes down about 15 minutes after it should have done. And you actually have some jungle wards up, which is nice. You've got a ward up on here, which again, it's good. Lets you get the vision on Roshan. Ward in the jungle to try and stop the Void from farming, but it's a little bit late now. And kind of nothing comes of it again. And Death Prophet's wasting. Death Prophet's popped her ulti. You guys need to be going in on that. Most of you are full. The Kunkka's a bit low, but he just has his front-loaded burst damage. Death Prophet's popped her ulti. You need to be doing something with it. I mean, they backed off, which is good enough, but if you can, go do something with it, because that's a huge ton of damage. But this Void is being farming uncontested. He is 3 for 1 for 3 with 160 CS. It's not pro level CS. Your Shadow Fiend has way more. But he hasn't died. Your Shadow Fiend has Mantra and a BKB, which I quite like, and you get a hook from that hook spot, which is lovely. What are you doing with it now? Half your team goes one way, you go another way, and then you're going to get picked off. Because you separated out. As, good. It's nice. Nice escape, but that was sort of slightly dodgy positioning between you and your team. There was no real communication there, I figured. The Weaver is doing whatever the hell he feels like. He's running around. And again, your team's far away. You got Tide's there, right? Shadow Fiend's there, Death Prophet's there. You're over here. And the Kunkka's farming. That was a complete waste of Ravage. Basically. Right, Death Prophet's ulti up. You gonna do anything with this? You should do. Good. You're pushing. That's the correct sort of thing to be doing. It just feels like the Pudge kind of this game hasn't had the opportunity to do anything, because Pudge this game wasn't really going to have any opportunity to do anything. The absolute lack of wards really hurt. As did missing a few hooks, missing a few opportunities. You're getting a base tower. Nice. You should really be backing out of this right now. Or, yeah, basically either commit or back out, don't muck about. I would have said possibly back out. The Void is up in 10 seconds. You're not going to get the racks out of this. Death Prophet ulti's already going down. Miscommunication. You guys aren't backing out when you should be. You got a base tower. Play it safe. You're behind. You've taken a little bit of an advantage. Taken a little bit back. You guys should just be going. In my opinion. This is now exposed to this. What you want to be doing is taking out base towers, pushing in this mid lane, and making so that this mid lane will push. Either blocking out creeps and then clearing a creep wave, getting a double wave up on mid lane and letting it push in. And then you can take the outer towers with much more ease, because they have to think about defending mid. Just like you have to think about defending your bot racks. Which is what you guys were doing there. You're pushing out the lane. You have to keep that lane pushed out, otherwise you're going to take damage on your bot racks, which is not ideal. You and the Shadow Fiend go for the Roshan. I like the smoke hut, that's nice. I mean, they don't have any wards anyway, but you didn't know that, and that's fine. It feels like they kind of know you're there though, and if you had a ward up, this wouldn't happen. Because they know you're there, and they're coming. And then Void gets a kill, and then Void gets... Oh, the Weaver gets a kill, and then Void comes in, and then the Shadow Fiend dies, and the Weaver got a double kill, and the Void gets a double kill, and the Death Prophet comes in for very little reason and dies as well, and you get team wiped and lose Roshan.
It's the humiliation.
Because you don't have any wards. That's it. If you don't have any wards, you get team wiped and you lose Roshan. They went, oh, I haven't seen them for a while. Oh, and the Pudge and the Shadow Fiend were here about 5 seconds ago and then disappeared. I wonder if they're at Roshan, and they come and kill you and take Roshan. They should win right now. We can see that they don't win for another 20 odd minutes. But right now, they should just win. These racks should go down, you're all dead for 12 seconds, and they kind of can't fight this. I mean, they have to take out these towers, because they haven't been pushing as well as they should do. But they should take this tower, and then take this tower. They have the Aegis on the Void. This tower goes down, you've lost racks, you've lost a tower, you got a team wipe, you lost Roshan. Not having wards there went from you were about 1.5k ahead to them probably going to top out about 4k. It's about a 7k swing. Because you don't have ward. For the sake of 75 gold. There's no vision on the map. and I'm willing to bet money on there being wards in your shop.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Lots of wards in your shop. Death Prophet gets a 40-minute Bloodstone. Not particularly useful. And you've been stuck on phase 4 staff Urn for the past 20 minutes. Because you've not taken any map control away from them.
Dire's top tower is under
And they're getting free towers left, right and centre, because you kind of can't contest this. Although the Void ulti is up now. They really should just push and win. They have Aegis on the Void. And that all comes from the lack of vision that you guys have. And you're playing Pudge, you need vision. I've said it a half dozen times, probably a dozen times, but that really is the crux of the problem here, is that you don't have vision, you don't know where things are, and you're trying to hook too much. I mean, it helps that the Void has a Mask of Madness and no HP, so he just melts. I had the Aegis on the Weaver instead. I don't agree with that. They should really have had the Aegis on the Void. Because he's much harder to kill than the Weaver, and does as much if not more damage. But there we go. There's 4 down. That Kunkka is ambitious, to say the least. He must be dying. Weaver, you not going to go for this? Okay, never mind. But that fight went about as well as you could have hoped. But again, you kind of didn't really do very much on the Pudge. Because I mean, you want to be when you're defending, you want to be hooking people out and trying to catch them on the high ground unaware, somewhere up there. If you can sort of stand on here and then hook someone in, your team can annihilate it quite quickly. Makes it much harder to push. It's actually quite hard to push against a Pudge. And your hooking is good. I have to say, I like your hook ratio and the number of times that you're throwing out hooks. It's fantastic. But the general lack of map control that you guys are exerting has cost you so much. No wards in their jungle. Void was free farming. You had 2 wards in their jungle and nothing came of it, because I think they just farmed their ancients and pushed instead. That doesn't mean you should stop getting wards. Even if nothing comes of the wards, they're still shut down that section of map. They're farming your jungle rather than anything else. I mean, look at this Weaver. It's got a BKB, a Lincolns, and a Daedalus. He's not going down anytime soon. Storm Spirit, from actually being quite raw early on, has now got a Bloodstone with 9 charges and a BKB. Just because they've taken all the other towers, because they pushed when they had an advantage. You guys got an advantage and kind of pushed, but you didn't push hard enough. You left this tower on 140 HP for 15 minutes. It wasn't worth it. You don't have any vision. You lost the Roshan, which cost you the barracks, and I would probably say the game. Because that barracks is going to cost you. Void is just sort of having fun, and the Undying disconnects, which is lovely. Right now, I'm just going to speed this up because it's this long, slow, spiraling doom right now. I'm not sure what more I can say here on the Pudge play. You played decently, didn't get the wards up. Threw out too many. You had tried to do too many cutesy hooks when you could have just walked in and killed them. Needed more vision, more vision, more vision, more vision. Your laning sucked. Not a lot you can do about that with these heroes, but your laning really did suck, and it cost you as well. The Weaver Undying won top lane, the Void Lina won bot lane. I think on balance you won mid as the Pudge, but winning a lane as Pudge against losing lanes with Voids and Weavers in is not going to contribute. You need to shut down their carries. You focus too much on getting kills of opportunity rather than actually getting kills for reasons and then pushing with it. You get a kill, you go do something with it. You get map control, you have space to ward, you take a tower. You shut down the farm on one of their carries. Have an ulterior motive for everything that you do. And there's a whole load of pausing here because I watched this at 8 speed, so I'm going to speed this through. It's about there. About there. There we are. Slow this back down. Void wades in. Big Death Prophet ulti, big Tide Ravage. Like, huge amounts of damage coming out from you guys. That's great. You hooked the Shadow Fiend away, which I liked. It's about all you could do there. The only reason you guys are remotely getting in here, though, is because the Undying DC'd. The Undying's been doing a fair amount of heavy lifting. The Storm Spirit should die. He's got no mana, Death Prophet's chasing him. Go on. Nice. they call GG and give up, but they're 7.5k ahead and they've got racks. And you guys need to be pushing this really hard. I mean, you're dead. There's not a lot you can do here, but push this really hard. Take the racks. That's exactly what you need to be doing. That's what they're doing. That's fine. Why is that ward in your base? What? It's an observer ward and it's in your base. I don't get that. Not even going to ask. There was something here that your team did very wrong. Their team did some pretty stupid stuff as well. That's great. They tried to defend 2v3 without their actual damage dealers. Kunkka dies to Tombstone. Void comes and kills everything. You need to push and you couldn't. Because your composition doesn't give you enough push. Really, I think a lot of the problem in this game was in the laning, but like I say, there are a few things you can improve on with your Pudge. Let's just speed this up, shall we? So you as Pudge are there, doing very little. They get another free Roshan because you don't have any vision. I sound like a broken record, but most of the time most things can be fixed by getting more vision. And let's slow this back down again. And you're now trapped in your base because you don't have any vision. Kind of, it's a recurring theme here. Smoke up, go do something. Good, I like it. You need to do that. You're behind. You need to go make something big happen. If you had wards, just saying, if you had wards, and you get revealed out by an invisible weaver, which none of you apparently notice, which is pretty awful, and the weaver's just going to play Ring Around the Rosie with you. Why don't you guys have you've got an observer ward, why didn't you place it? You might have been able to get a kill there. Instead you drop an observer ward outside here. I guess that's alright. You want to pick out the weaver if he's there, but not really worth it. That smoke failed. Y'all did nothing with it. Kind of happens, but that's because you didn't have any vision anywhere. Broken record time, and this is basically it. Miss a hook. It happens. Could have picked out the Lena if you hadn't missed the hook. I like that hook spot. That's nice. But it's kind of too little, too late. The Void is man-moding it in. This time they realise that they should put the Aegis on the Void, which is nice. He dies. Your Tide is waiting to Ravage just after he pops. That's nice. It's a good play by the Tide. But this Void is balling out of control. He's huge right now. He just kills everything. The Weaver does huge amounts of damage. You die 4 for none.
Dire's top
And it's
tower
basically
is
because you
under
didn't do anything to shut down
top tower has
this
fallen.
Void or this Weaver. Partially because you couldn't. You don't have the stuns to lock down the Weaver. And the Void was playing it quite safe, running away a lot. But you kind of need to be trying that. As the Pudge, you focused, again, like I said, your kills were kills of opportunity, not really worthwhile.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Void gets a kill on, Shadowfiend gets a kill on the Void. Kind of a pity kill, to be honest. Yeah, your kills were kills of opportunity rather than targeted for a reason. You didn't just go rot someone. That's something you can work on as Pudge. Most of the time, you probably don't even need to hook. Just wade in and rot someone and they die. Dismember them. That's a thing that a lot of Pudges miss out on, is that they focus too much on the hooks rather than just walking around with rot on, which you can do a lot. No map control, no vision. Cost you 2 Roshans, 2 team wipes, several kills on the Void in the jungle, and safe farm for your Kunkka. Quite a few things, in fact. Shadowfiend got in the way, or you didn't move to hook. Kind of didn't matter, Lena died anyway. Didn't push when you should have done, not paying enough attention. You didn't look around at the map as the Pudge, you didn't see where the opportunities were going to come. You need to be very, very active, really quite early on this game, because your side lanes were losing and they were losing quite hard. Apart from that, I have to say, Pudge play here was alright. It really was a matter of composition and lanes, in my opinion, as well as the absolute lack of vision and direction. You seem like at the top here, you and the Tide went, oh, I'm going to go out the farm. Shadowfiend went mid, and then the Kunkka and the Death Prophet sort of did a little dance in the forest for some time, didn't really do very much. Instead, you should have given the farm to one of the carries, or separated the farm out onto just one of your Tide, and gone, okay, right, we need to get the Tide his Blink Dagger up, we need to get the Tide up his Arcanes, part of a refresher, I don't know, something useful. But you didn't. Some bad communication there. And right now they're just sort of ignoring everything that you do. They're so fat. This Weaver is unkillable. I mean, he's Butterfly, Daedalus, Lincoln's BKB. He's just unkillable right now. Because you didn't shut him down at all. And he got farm and levels. I mean, this game's been over for a little while. I think, honestly, the game was over when they pegged you at Roshan, took that Roshan, took the Aegis, took your bot racks, and then could take these 2 towers for absolutely free because you couldn't do anything to contest it. The second Roshan was the nail in the coffin, but this was really the point where they went, okay, we have this, it's our game to lose. And if you look, you sort of went, okay, they're ahead, and then this is where you started doing concerted pushing, sort of moving as a team, doing useful things, and then that was the Roshan. That was their team wipe Roshan. Second Roshan, possibly? Not sure if Roshan shows up on here. Second Roshan, probably, and then bang, dead. This is the we're losing the game spike. It means absolutely nothing. This is the important one here. They got a team wipe, they got a free Roshan, they got 3 towers, they got a set of racks. You got penned into your base because you don't have any vision on your map. So, basically, if you don't have wards as Pudge, you need wards. Get them yourself. Stop trying to hook all the time. Quite often you can just walk in and rot someone, especially if you have, especially if you have positional advantage, so you can just run behind them. Bot lane, it was Kunker and Death Prophet, so you have a huge amount of nuke in that. That could well have done it. So stop trying to hook all the time, just wade in. Be more aggressive against some heroes very early on in your lane. You could have killed the Storm Spirit a little bit earlier, possibly, but I liked your early kill on the Storm. That was really nice. Your hooking is good, especially into groups. I think that's a very strong aspect of your play, which I liked. Uh, but really, it's the map awareness and a lot of warding that let you down. That's my point of view on that game. I focused a lot on the Pudge. I'm sure there were other things I could have picked up on one way or another, but I hope you find it useful and anyone else who's watching finds it useful. If anyone else wants me to do this for one of their games, just throw me a match ID on YouTube and I'll get around to it at some point. I hope everyone enjoys. Cheers.